Good day, grade 12. Welcome back to our Media and Information Literacy class. This is Lesson 5, Motion Media and Information. Motion media is a form of media that has the appearance of moving text and graphics on a display, with a purpose of disseminating information to an audience. The following are the objectives of our lesson for today on motion media and information. As for the content standards, that the learners will be able to describe the different dimensions of motion information and media and comprehend how motion media and information are formally and informally produced, organized, and disseminated. The learning competencies the learners are expected to gain through this lesson are the following. Number 1, define motion media and information and the key terms such as animation, frames per second or FPS, rendering, and storyboard. Next, explain the basic steps involved in producing motion media and information. And lastly, classify motion media according to their format, purpose, method, types, sources, and audience. So far, we are done discussing and studying the following dimensions of media and information: people media, text media, visual media, and audio media. Today, we will be moving on to another important dimension of media and information, that is, motion media and information. I hope that as you face your gadget right now, you have already watched the video clip I assigned to you as preparation for our class. It is a video of different flipbooks made by Amy Perkel. I also encourage you to visit her channel to learn more about flipbooks. The link of her channel, Percolator Press Flipbooks, is provided below. A flipbook, also known as kinograph, is a booklet with a series of images that very gradually change from one page to the next, so that when the pages are viewed in quick succession, the images appear to animate by simulating motion or some other change. With the flipbook, the quick page succession of still pictures creates an illusion of movement or blending. This is a very good example of motion media and actually the predecessor of our modern-day animations. After this class, you are asked to make a simple flipbook and take a video of it. Please send a video of your flipbook to my Gmail as your activity number 7. You may get an idea from the link below. In a motion media, each picture is a frame, and that motion is created by rendering or showing consecutively several frames per second. 24 frames or pictures or more per second makes for a smooth animation. Videos, film, slides also make use of frames. The series of graphics or images follow a sequence to create a story. This sequence is often called a storyboard, which shows a set of components, audio, visual, videos, etc., changing in time to create a story or a message. Formal production of animations involve the following steps. First, writing the story. Writers and directors create the storyboard, script is written, and dialogue is recorded. Second, animators sketch major scenes. In-betweeners fill in the gaps. Third, background music and background details are added. And fourth, drawings are rendered. Videos are produced in the same manner, except that instead of drawing the scenes, they are acted out and shot. Once the scenes have been shot, all clips are edited and put together in a final product. Another thing that we should be aware of in dealing with motion media are the different formats, types, and sources that are available. For animation, motion media may be using one of the following formats. Number 1. Graphic Interchange Format. In its simplest form, a GIF, pronounced as GIF or GIF, is just an image file. Like the JPEG or PNG file formats, the GIF format can be used to make still images, but the GIF format has a special feature. It can also be used to create animated image. We say animated images because GIFs aren't really videos. The file extension of this kind of animation are .gif. Number 2. Adobe Flash Animation or Adobe Flash Cartoon was an animation service that is created with the Adobe Animate, or formerly known as Flash Professional Platform, or similar animation software, and often distributed in the SWF file format. SWF stands for Small Web Format. SWF files can contain video and vector-based animations and sounds and are designed for efficient delivery over the web. It is thus used mainly in internet websites. Number 3. Dynamic HTML. Dynamic HTML is a collective term for a combination of hypertext markup language tags and options that can make web pages more animated and interactive. It uses the .dhtml for its file extension. Motion media can also be categorized according to their video format or video codecs. Motion media use large resources. When we say video codec, it is a software or sometimes a piece of hardware that compresses and decompresses digital video. In other words, a codec processes raw digital video and stores it in a stream of bytes. It converts uncompressed video to a compressed format to take up less space on your computer, and vice versa. Here are some examples of video formats or video codecs. Number 1. QuickTime. QuickTime is an extensible multimedia framework developed by Apple Inc., capable of handling various formats of digital video, picture, sound, panoramic images, and interactivity. Number 2. DivX or DivX. It is a brand of video codec product developed by DivX LLC. There are 3 DivX codecs: the original MPEG-4 Part 2 DivX codec, the H.264/MPEG-4AVC DivX Plus HD codec, and the high-efficiency video coding DivX HEVC Ultra HD codec. Number 3. MPEG. MPEG is the acronym for Moving Picture Experts Group. That MPG file is an MPEG video file. It is the same group that also invented the popular MP3 and MP4 formats. Files with the .mpg extension are video files, and it is a popular format to distribute video and movie clips over the internet. Number 4. MP4 or MPEG-4 Part 14, or simply MP4, is a digital multimedia container format most commonly used to store video and audio, but it can also be used to store other data such as subtitles and still images. Like most modern container formats, it allows streaming over the internet. The only file name extension for MPEG-4 Part 14 files as defined by the specification is .mp4. And number 5, MOV file. MOV file extension is one of the most used video container format in video editing softwares. The file format can contain videos, video effects, audio, text, images, subtitles, and other media types in a single file. The compression algorithm of this format was designed by Apple, but is compatible with both Mac and Windows. Motion media can be classified also according to its purpose, either for education, for entertainment, or for advertisement. It can also be classified according to source, whether personal, social media, or media companies. It can also be categorized according to audience. It can be private or public. It can be directed, that is for a particular group, or general. In some of this, media convergence can be observed with one artifact falling into several categories or classification. The design principles of motion media and information revolve around the following essential elements. First, speed can be constant or variable. The tone of the movement can be highlighted by the speed coupled with music. A fast movement gives vigor and vitality, intensifying emotions. A slow movement connotes lethargy, solemnity, or sadness. Second, direction can indicate a movement from one direction to another. It can also refer to the growing or shrinking of an object. As objects move, the background must remain in scale with the object. Third, motion path refers to the route that the object will take. It shows the change in direction of a movement. It is important to note the triggers to the change in direction of an object. These triggers are often key objects or events in a story. Fourth, timing can be objective or subjective. Objective timing can be measured in minutes, seconds, days, etc., while subjective timing is psychological or felt. Objective timing is used to produce subjective timing. Timing can be used to clarify or intensify the message or the event. Using a pause can help time the events. One of the skills that we should possess nowadays as consumers of motion media is the ability to determine the credibility of motion media. Here are some basic methods through which we can judge whether a motion media is credible or not. Number 1, validity of information. It is peer-reviewed and verifiable. When we speak of peer review, we mean the evaluation of work by one or more people with similar competencies as the producers of the work. It functions as a form of self-regulation by qualified members of a profession within the relevant field. Peer review methods are used to maintain quality standards, improve performance, and provide credibility. And when we say verifiable, we mean it is able to be checked or demonstrated to be true and accurate. Number 2, source. We also have to know its source, whether it is primary or secondary source. We can ask, does the video capture the actual event, or does it simply present information learned about an event? For example, an actual CCTV footage is a primary source, while a video of an interview concerning the CCTV footage is a secondary source. We should also know the relationship of the author to the event. Does he or she have first-hand knowledge? Part of the competencies that we should possess regarding motion media is a knowledge on the technical methods of detecting tampered or fake video. Number 1, we should look into the smoothness of video. This is often detected when movements are not smooth, when action seems to jump from one position to another, as if some action was missing. Second, we should also pay close attention to the lighting coverage matches. One way to detect lighting matches is to look at the shadows. the source of light determines the size and direction of the shadow. Third, we should also observe if there is a scale and size consistency. The scale refers to how the size of the objects in reference to one another are near the real thing. If the picture is reduced or enlarged by a certain percent, then all of the objects should be resized by that percent. Objects that are far away are usually smaller than objects that are nearer. Let us now enumerate the advantages of motion media and information. First, it captures motion in a manner that can be viewed repeatedly. If we stored a copy of it, we can play it again and again and go back to our favorite part, for example, of a movie. Second, it can show processes in detail and in sequence. We can clearly see the particular order in which the events happened. Third, simulations allow for safe observation. Say, for example, we can learn how a car accident actually happened with the use of motion media without placing ourselves on the road and without putting ourselves in a dangerous situation. Fourth, it can cut across different cultures and groups. Motion media is a readily accepted medium to communicate message. Fifth, it allows scenes, history, events, and phenomenon to be recreated. And sixth, it enables learning with emotions. The following are the limitations of motion media and information. Number 1. Compared to other forms of visual media, the viewer cannot always interrupt the presentation. Number 2. It is oftentimes more costly than other forms of visual media. Number 3. Other data may be presented best using still images, such as graphs, diagrams, and maps. And lastly, it is subject to misinterpretation. The following are the design principles in creating movement that we should consider when we create or produce motion media. Number 1. The speed, direction, and timing should depict natural laws of physics. This includes the trajectories, impact on objects, and reactions of the environment. Number 2. Timing affects recall. Fast movement sends much information. Slow movement provides emphasis and lasting recall. Number 3. Transitions are used to switch between scenes. Have a clear start and finish in your motion path or scenes. Using neutral colors at the start or end of a scene is a good method for creating the right mindset. It is important to know which type of transition to use, as this sets the tone for the next event and should provide a smooth connection from one event to another. Number 4. Sound and color adds depth and meaning to movement. 5. Cartooning your graphic and text provides dynamic movement. This can be done by using the following movements: stretching, rotating, or squashing. 6. Blurring can be used in different ways. In animation, blurring can provide the illusion of fast movement. In videos, it is often used to censor information for security or decency. 7. Always review the purpose of the movement. Movement is not added for the sake of it. These elements, when used with other forms of media and information, such as audio, visual, and people media, create movement that convey different emotions, impact, and results. For your assignment and group performance task number 2, create a 3-minute video using your preferred app showing all the members of your group accomplishing your MIL requirements. We will use the same grouping that we used in your Audiopedia group performance task. Part 1 of your video will be an introduction of each member. Part 2, members in action. Part 3, most important lesson you learned in MIL class. For Part 1, you may use video clips only. For Part 2, you can use pictures from the first and second quarter of MIL class, and you may also insert some videos. For Part 3, use video clips only. You may insert appropriate text and audio where necessary. Please submit it in MP4 format. Thank you. For questions and clarifications about your task, please send me a message. Bye.